Hello, Scott here, back with another guitar lesson for you. My band is learning this Russell Dickerson tune for a wedding and thought I'd make a good lesson. We'll start off with the basics, some chords, and then get into all the little guitar parts and the lead work too. Enjoy! Okay, before we dig into all the little nuances and details on this tune, I realize that some of you will just want some chords to strum along with this song. Maybe you're doing it acoustic, or maybe you're the only guitarist in your band, so you don't get to do a lot of the texture stuff. So here's some chords for you to be able to do. The tune is based on E, B, G sharp minor, and F sharp major. So it's right out of the key of B major. It's your 4 chord, 1 chord, 6 chord, and 5 chord if you're familiar with the number system. But to give you a closer look at these chord shapes. So this is just open position E major. And what I've got there is open 6th string, fret 2 on the 5th string, fret 2 on the 4th string, fret 1 on the 3rd string, and then the highest 2 strings are open. And most of you probably know that one, but just in case. Chord number 2, B major, I'm barring the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings with 3rd finger, and then grabbing the root note B on fret 2 of the 5th string. 3rd chord, I'm barring all the way across on 4, and then with my 3rd and 4th fingers grabbing 6th fret on the 4th and 5th strings. And this is G sharp minor. And to get the 3rd chord, just take this shape, move it back to fret 2, and add your 2nd finger on the 3rd string. And this will give you an F sharp major chord. So this is a chord that you can play that'll get you through the entire tune if you're doing rhythm guitar or just doing a stripped down acoustic version. Maybe you don't like bar chords so much. If that's the case, or you just like the sound of these higher voicings, you can capo at 4 and get those same chords with these shapes. C, G, E minor, and D. And just like the other set of chords, if you wanted to, you could get through the entire tune, just strumming these in the, as background chords. So these will be useful for acoustic or rhythm players. One more word about chords to strum. If you're capoed at 4, a cool variation on the standard chord voicings we were doing there is if you have your G shape, you'll know that you've got your 3rd and 4th finger on the 1st and 2nd string. And what you can do is run those changes, the C, G, E minor, and D, but keep these notes constant, and that'll look and sound like this. These are great chords for guitar 2 in a band, or if you're just strumming the chords acoustic by yourself. Very first thing we'll hear on this track, there's a fade in on a chord, and I think it's an F sharp power chord on the middle 2 strings. So I've got an F sharp on the 4th fret of the 4th string, and also fret 6 on the 3rd string. And what we'll hear is that chord, but with a volume swell. And then it goes right into the tune from there. During the intro and the first half of verse 1, the piano's got a part going, and the guitar is doing a set of 4 note pairs with a delay effect on them. And the note pairs work like this. There's your first finger on the 5th fret of 2nd string, 4th finger on the 7th fret of 1st string. The 2 notes are E and B. The second note pair, just slide 1st finger back to fret 4. The third note pair, bring 1st finger up to fret 7 and grab the 1st and 2nd strings on the same fret. And the third note pair, grab the C sharp on fret 9 of 1st string. And once you have that together, then you can add the delay effect to it. I'm using my Giga delay. It's a digital delay set to about 480 milliseconds. And you want to have enough feedback so you get enough repeats to fill in the space in between the notes. I mean, that's the idea. And if you were performing this in a band, what you may want to do is when your drummer clicks in to tap tempo, so your delay is locked in. Otherwise, it might be a bit off and not sound quite right. One more small detail out of the intro. We'll hear this little melodic bit right around the 10-second mark. So we start with fret 11, bent up a half step, and we're going to play that note, let it down, and bend it back up and sustain it a bit. Just a little transition into the first verse. Midway through the first verse, the guitar part changes from that delay idea we looked at earlier to a set of sixths. And how that works is, for this first pair, both these notes are on fret 9 on the 2nd and 4th strings, and I'm using 2nd and 3rd finger to grab those. And the second note pair is on fret 4, so we just use that same fingering, moving from fret 9 to fret 4. Then we'll shift all the way up to 12th position, grabbing the B on the 2nd string, fret 12 with your first finger, and then we'll have fret 13 on the 4th string with 2nd finger. And the last note pair here is fret 11 on the 2nd and 4th strings, and then I move back to using 2nd and 3rd finger. So this looks like and in context in that verse. Chorus 1. Alright, chorus riff. Grab the D sharp, fret 1 on the 4th string, and slide to the E on fret 2. And we're going to follow that up with the open 2nd string, a B. That is followed by a B, fret 2 on the 5th string, G sharp, fret 4 on the bottom string, another open B, and F sharp. slide, open B, low B, G sharp, open second string, F sharp. I'll change angles a little bit to something about the picking. When I have these non-adjacent strings inside a riff like this, hybrid picking is a good option. Like here, when I do that slide, I'll grab the open B notes in this riff with my middle finger like that. I just think that makes it a little easier to be accurate. The verse 2 guitar part is based around a B shape at fret 7. So I've got this B with my first finger, and we're going to hang on to that. Then D sharp on fret 8 of the 3rd string. So what we're going to do is play that D sharp on 3rd string, hammer on to the E on fret 9, and then play that high B. This is another good spot for that hybrid picking if you liked that. So there I grab that high B with my my middle finger on the picking hand. And then we'll play another D sharp. So the second half of this idea, we're going to grip 1st and 2nd strings fret 7, playing the 2nd string, hammering on to 9, and then playing the 1st string again. Lift 3rd finger away and play that 7th fret note on 2nd string. So that fits in context over the rhythm section. There's a really short idea that ends the second verse leading into the second chorus after that last riff has been going on throughout the entire verse. And how this works is there's a C sharp on the 6th fret of the 3rd string, and we're going to grab onto that, bend it, play the note unbent with a little vibrato, hit the note a 3rd time, and slide it off. And that's right around the 136 mark. Chorus number 2 is a little heavier sounding, so this is the first time we really get chunky guitar chords going on. And there's a 4-chord riff. It's the same chords that we've been hearing for the entire song. E, B, G sharp, F sharp. And these are the power chord versions, neither major nor minor. So the E chord, you can grab the 2nd fret on strings 4 and 5, and then play those 2 notes along with the low open E. The B chord, hang on to that B on fret 2, and grab onto the 4th fret of 3rd and 4th string, and we get this chord. Take this shape, move it over to fret 4 on the bottom 3 strings, strings 6, 5, and 4. And then the last chord, the F sharp, we just take that same shape, same string group, slide it back to fret 2. During the second chorus and really that chorus riff through the end of the song, there's a second guitar playing some triads that match up with those, and they're high register triads. The first one's a B major, and what we're going to do is grab 11, 12, 11. So those notes are a D sharp, B, and F sharp. And we're going to do that triad twice in this set. And then we'll switch this up 11, 12, 13. 11, 12, 13. And then the fourth triad is going to be 14, 14, 15. That's an F sharp major. So over top of the chords, we'll hear this. So just a texture part. If you're covering the tune, you probably won't be able to do those because you'll be playing the power chords. But anyway, there it is. The opening lick of the guitar solo is based around a B major chord shape out of this triad that we did during that one rhythm guitar part. And I'm grabbing that with my first and third finger, just like you're playing the chord. And there's an idea that we get a lot in the solo, and we'll see it again in the outro. So what we're going to do is hit with our first finger this F sharp twice, grab the B on string 2, fret 12, back to the third string, second string again, and that last time slide up to 14. The second phrase of the solo is the first phrase with a different ending. So we play that lick just like before, but then follow it up with pulling off on first string from the E on 12 to the D sharp on 11. The third phrase is really just the first phrase again. And then there'll be a short break and a bend on fret 14 twice, pulling off from 14 to 11, top string, returning to 14 with a vibrato, and slide off. Next solo phrase, we're going to be up into the high register here. I'm on fret 18 of the first string, and we're going to grab that note, bend it a half step, and then bring it back down. Then with fourth finger, grab fret 19 on the second string, and then fret 16 on the second string, first finger. As an alternate, we could do that bend, that first bend in the same spot, grab the second note also on the first string on fret 14, and then use your second finger to grab fret 16 on the second string. Next phrase, we're on second string, fret 16, it's D sharp, got it with my first finger. We're going to play that note, hammer on to fret 19, hit that note again, and do a bend there. From there, my first and second fingers are going to grab fret 18 on the third string, and we'll get a bend, let it back down, bend it back up. So that whole phrase the This next phrase is going to sound familiar. It's one of the earlier phrases dropped down an octave. With a twist to it. But say you're on fret 6, I'd use third finger on the first string, and we'll do a half step bend, and then let it back down. Use first finger to grab the D sharp on fret 4, the second string, and then also on the second string, fret 7, and then slide to 9. One more time. Last lick of the solo. We're going to start off with this F sharp, fret 7 on the second string, and then grab the 8th fret on third string with your third finger. And as we hit that note, we're going to slide right away down to the C sharp on fret 6 and end on this B on fret 4, still third string. Here's the entire solo put together at a somewhat slower tempo. The first phrase in the outro is really just the same idea that starts off the solo. The second phrase is that exact same thing, but with an extra one of these notes at the end. The third phrase is just the first phrase again. What we're going to find is that every other phrase is just that, and then he'll do a variation every other time to mix it up a bit. So those first three, phrase 4 starts the same way, but we'll slide back and then hit another B on fret 12. Phrase 5 in the outro is that familiar idea. Phrase 6 is going to be that, plus a pull off at the end from fret 14 to fret 12. And the last phrase of the outros, a bend on fret 14 of the second string, and then we'll grab fret 14 of the first string with pinky finger, hit that bent note again, let it back down, frets 12 and 14, and then pull off from 14 to 12. So that last idea, slow, kind of slow, phrase 1, phrase 2, phrase 3, phrase 4, phrase 5, phrase 6, last phrase, for the demo tracks, I had in my loop station a piano part played in that I was just doing something that sounded kind of like what the piano in this song was doing. And for anyone who was curious what notes I was playing, how I did that, here you go. I'm capoed at 4, and most of it is the open second and third strings. That's better. And I'm grabbing those with my middle and index finger. And then the deal is I'm just filling in the bass notes with my thumb. And that sound like. And just be wary of the rhythm, because the second and fourth chords are syncopated, meaning that they don't fall on strong beats. So we get that, this is a 3rd fret on the 5th string. Talking frets just out in front of the capo. I know I'm really on fret 7, but anyways, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So simple enough accompaniment. I just liked having something that sounded like the track for the loop station backing. But if you were going to play this, you could even put that in through a loop and put that as layer 1 and let that roll through the entire songs. The changes are pretty constant. Thanks for checking out this lesson video. I'll be back with another one again soon, and if you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them, and consider liking and subscribing. Appreciate it. Thanks.